You are now listening to Tough Tiger Talk Flash Report.
All right, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the Tough Tiger Talk recap, man. LSU, man, they did what they usually do. In this one here, man, was just kind of a preposterous way to go out. Can I tell you, the defense did more than enough in this matchup to keep things as close as what they were supposed to. Offensively speaking, we just were inept. I mean, in this game, man, I don't know what the philosophy is with the coordinator, but obviously it wasn't to attack downfield. LSU's passing attack just wasn't there. 318 passing yards versus 113, not pushing the ball down the field. It's been something that we've been accused of not doing. But in the end, it was the team that really wanted to do it, that really did what it needed to do to get it done. John Mateer in this game was really mistake prone. 3 interceptions in the game. He had 2 interceptions. They still escaped 17-13 with the win. Y'all hit the like button in this one as the LSU goes down in the season finale, 17-13. They fall to 7-5 and 3-5 in the SEC as Oklahoma keep their postseason hopes alive. We, on the other hand, still are waiting for the word to hear from whether Lane Kiffin will accept the job to be the coach. We are a bit of a mess, fam. I'm just going to be honest with you about that. We're a bit about a mess, and we're still waiting to hear. Now, there's all kind of rumors swirling about Lane Kiffin, whether he's assembling his staff. It is really like, I don't know if y'all guys have the Tiffin or Kiffin fatigue, rather, right? You know, that source is saying Lane Kiffin is lining up his staff for LSU and the stuff that he said he had to pray and talk to Nick Saban, and we don't know. But in the end, it is a mess right now for whoever is going to take over LSU football. Man, we have a lot of work to do here, man. But anyway, let's get right into the post game, man. The breakdown of the Tigers. Y'all feel free to hit the like button. Also, feel free to sub up to Tough Tiger Talk, man, in the season finale. Big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all for being in this one. What's up, Ro? Shout out to Ro, Country Kid. Much love, fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Y'all hit that like button for me and the share as well. So in this one, man, look, LSU, 9 first downs versus 14 by OU. They were 2 of 14 on third down. OU was a little bit better. They were 4 of 15 in the total yards game. OU had almost 400 yards passing. LSU 198, 318 and 113 is the passing. LSU had 85 yards rushing off of 29 attempts. That's a 3-yard average versus OU 75 off of 28 attempts. They're under 3 yards attempt. OU had 8 penalties for 60 yards in this game. LSU 4 for 25. The turnovers, they had 3 turnovers. We know about the interceptions. The time of possession was what it was. Now, what's interesting is, like I said, watching the game, LSU way too conservative. Too much east-west stuff. Too much screen crap that some of these screens that weren't even developed properly. Offensive linemen didn't open up the lanes properly or get to where they needed to be on time. Sloppy football. And at the end of the day, a lot of what LSU didn't do, like trying to get the ball upfield and doing the right thing at the right time, it's just what it is. Coach Frank, I like Coach Frank, but when it came down to him to really kind of mash on the coordinator and make sure he adjusts at halftime to try to at least open up the passing attack, my goodness. Watching this style of football from LSU where they just want to go east to west all the time and not use the receivers. Use your damn receivers. Go upfield. Use your receivers. You got a big ass tight end. You don't want to use him. Trade ass Green was not even he was non-factor in this game. He's been pretty much his statistics have dropped radically since Coach Frank has taken over. If you have a weapon like that, you got to use that guy. And that's simply what we don't do. Michael Van Buren's 14 of 25 for 96 yards, under 100 yards of passing, 1 touchdown and a pick. Caden Durham, 6 carries for 42 yards. Van Buren scrambled 5 times for 33 yards, having his versatility to be able to scramble around and make plays with his feet. It's refreshing, but you got to let the man go upfield with the ball. Zavion Thomas, 3 catches for 30 yards. He had a touchdown. Trade Ass had 1 catch for 30 yards. Bauer Sharp 1 for 17. Parker 2 for 16. Baron Brown 3 for 9. And then so on and so forth. So it's just one of these situations where we just get sorry. And I don't know, man. It's just really hard to look at these people right now with how this offense operates. On the defense did everything they was supposed to do to pin down Oklahoma. They forced turnovers. They gave short fields. Even the special team set up short fields for the offense. The offense just didn't do what they were supposed to do. They didn't do nearly enough. And when you need a touchdown, and I said, if LSU can get a touchdown, they'll beat OU before OU got their touchdown. They would have let the air out of that building. And what they did, they played it cautious. And cautious gets you beat. So Keys finished the matchup with 8 tackles, and this Halsey had 7 to go on Harold Perkins. Man, listen, man, did you guys watch Harold Perkins play in this game, fam? Did y'all see Harold Perkins play? It was several plays where Harold Perkins over pursued the ball carrier and did a half-ass job in trying to catch up to the ball carrier. What was that bullshit that he did along the sideline when he was trying to knock the ball out of the arms of Mateer, as opposed to knock him out? Good thing Tank Guillory and a couple of them guys were able to get penetration and stop him on the next play to force them to turn the ball over on downs. But what was that by Harold Perkins, man? What's wrong with Harold Perkins? You know, I'm like, this dude it's like, I don't know, man. I really don't know about Harold Perkins' head, where he at in the game. Like, he's playing this. It's just not the same guy, man. He just over pursued guys. It's just, yeah, you know. But in the end, man, we did accrue 6 tackles for loss in the game. There were no sacks in the game with Mateer, but LSU did what they were supposed to do defensively to pin these guys. Now, Perkins did get a pick. We ain't gonna take that away from him. But Halsey had one, so did DJ Pickett. And like I said, the defense did more than its fair share there. Even Damian Ramos kicked a couple of field goals there. This was on LSU's offense, and it's been on LSU's offense. Coach Frank can't get these guys to do anything downfield, and it's really disturbing, man. So with this being said, we are now in a situation, fam, where, you know, this is, man, you know, this is just what it's been. 75 on the season. We'll see what the bowl game is, to be honest with you. But I think the big news of the day is, like a lot of LSU Nation is watching to see what the situation is with Lane Kiffin, and this Lane Kiffin making the decision to become LSU's next coach. Now here, fam, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but a lot of people are talking about the fact that they thinking the longer this plays out, this benefits Ole Miss more than it does LSU. It's been reported that Ole Miss will match everything that LSU's offering him. Now, the NIL money, that's another sticking point right there, but I'm figuring if they're willing to do that, they should be considering to do that. And he really, listen, fam, I'm going to just be honest with you. Lane Kiffin, the best thing for Lane Kiffin to do is stay there, because let me tell you something. If you come to LSU, we going to want you to step up and step out. Soon as your feet touch down here, you're going to be tasked with winning. And we won't be winning. And we're a patient bunch. But at the same time, what we've been through for the last couple of years, the falling short, the foolishness, the nonsense, the transfers, the people that's supposed to come here, they breaking away their commitments and going to other places because they see a future there. Man, listen, you'll be allotted a certain period of time, but man, listen, as soon as you hit touchdown, you're going to be tasked with turning this around. I'm just going to be honest with you. This is a pressure cooker down here. We're not going to play with you. You have to win here, and you're going to have to pick up stakes and run fast, especially the kind of money that they're asking, they're offering for him, and on top of the NIL money. You're going to be tasked very fast to turn this stuff around. Now, the great part about it is, if LSU is able to get Lane Kiffin, what that does do, it turns our offense in what could possibly be one of the best in the country, because he's a brilliant mind offensively. Plus, he'll be probably more than likely bringing a lot of the transfers, the recruits and people that he's talking to from next year. A lot of those people are going to follow him to LSU. So that coupled with whatever he can be able to keep over from this staff, this team should make us a competitive team moving forward if he decides to do that. But what if he doesn't? then what is the move for LSU football? They're putting a lot on Lane Kiffin. But this decision pours on, fam. A lot of people believes it doesn't sit well for LSU for him, because he did say a potential situation in terms of him waiting or all this kind of stuff is, it's all tentative. And how do you guys feel about Lane Kiffin? Me personally, I don't like Lane Kiffin. I don't like him as a person, but as a football player, as a football a minded person as myself, and Lane Kiffin, you can't deny his strategy, his mindset, and how he can turn offenses into something. I gotta respect that, right? But he's been talking a lot different than we usually know him to be talking. He's comfortable with Ole Miss. They gave him an opportunity to get back into the SEC as a head coach after his stint with Tennessee, and then he moved around, did this and all this kind of stuff. Went to FAU. Florida International, for some time, and then ultimately was able to land an Ole Miss job, built Ole Miss up into potentially could be a college playoff contender. That's a lot to do, and the pressure is not the same in Ole Miss as it is for LSU. So what's the fallback option here? Is it Summerall? What's it going to be? Because a couple of these other coaches we talking about, they kind of falling away quick. So we don't want to paint ourselves in the corner, putting all our chips on Lane, and Lane decides to stay put. I'm just saying that. But anyway, as we keep this thing going, that seems to be more of the sticking part today. Besides the sorry ass loss that we had today against OU, I don't think anybody picked LSU to would come into here and upset OU in their own building. I don't think anybody's seen that. But if we had some balls offensively, I think it probably would have been better for if we'd have had some offensive balls, man, and pushed the ball up the field. We would have upset this team, man. But I don't know what Coach Frank was thinking, man. He was standing there watching the game like we was, as opposed to telling his offensive coordinator, let's try to at least get vertical here, man. Let's at least try to get vertical here and surprise these people. At least do that much, But nonetheless. So anyway, that's what we got going on here, man. I just figured with that going forward, we'll see what I know that's the news right here. We kind of stuck on the whole Lane Kiffin thing. And that's where we are right now. And they got people that got a Lane Kiffin tracker set up. And they got a tracker set up with Lane Kiffin to follow Lane Kiffin and decide on whether or not he'll be where is he at right now. What is his decision? And this is one right here that a guy, let me show y'all this one right here. His decision looms. His decision between staying at college football playoff bound Ole Miss team or leaving for LSU looms over an action-packed rivalry Saturday. Right. And this is some of the stuff, that articles they're writing. This was why start over LSU? Why start? And this is some other reporters asking these questions. I think he should stay with Ole Miss. He has a great team and things are going great here. Why start over somewhere when new things are working here? And this is some of the people chiming in on it, telling. And listen, like I said, I would love, I don't like him as a person because I think he's a snake. But in the end, we just had Brian Kelly, who came out with a fake country accent to start off like Hillary Clinton or something. He started off then. So, hey, once you get bit by a snake, you kind of, I guess you get some, you get immune to it to a degree, I guess, but going after him, he's the biggest name on the market, and that's what we do, right? So to me, if I'm a family member of Lane, or if I'm his best friend, I'm telling them to stay, and I'm telling them to stay because you better win when you get here, Playboy. You better win. But anyway, the crazy part about it is they're dolling out. There's well over a $90 million offer, and not including the NIL deal money up for Lane Kiffin heading to LSU, not to mention the fact that they've agreed to pay Brian Kelly the $54 million. How much money does this damn school have? This school has a lot of bread, man. LSU is a very wealthy university. The $54 million to Brian Kelly, and then the $90+ million to a potential Lane Kiffin. LSU is literally printing money over there, man. They're printing money there. All right. But anyway, man, what's y'all call, man, in the chat? Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. Do you guys believe that Coach Kiffin is headed to LSU. Let me hear your guys' thoughts about it. Please put it in the comment section and let me know how you guys feel about that. Do you believe that Lane Kiffin will be the coach? Do you think it'll be somebody else? If it's not Lane Kiffin and he decides to stay where he is, who do you guys think it should be? What's your list? Your list of, y'all tell me, what is your list of people you think should be making the team? Y'all put it in the comment section and let me know how y'all feel about it. What should be the case, right? All right. So anyway, with that being said, fam, we're going to give me just a second. We're going to tune up and listen to Coach Frank. He'll be up on the podium. Yes, for Coach Frank talking about the loss at OU.
One, was as good as a punt. You're inside the 10-yard line that we got it, and so we'd have to go 95 plus yards. But there's no excuse. It's just the realities of it against a very stringent defense, and so we did the things, and they did the things. Our kids fought their ass off. They really competed. They gave their very best, and our best wasn't good enough in this day, unfortunately.
Yeah, just the idea that you guys are able to close this thing out. 2 minutes left. You have a chance to go ahead there. What did you say about the last month and a half that this whole team kind of kept together?
Yeah, we play a top 10 team 3 weeks ago. We play a top 10 team again this week and two in between. And it showed that that we're resilient, that our kids were prideful, that we were going to go in and compete to the best of our ability and use the things that we have to give us a chance. And I thought we did those things at times. We kept the game where we wanted, where it was in the balance, and that it would come down to the back end where we would have a chance to win the football game. It came down to that. And unfortunately, we didn't make the play or plays to be able to attain victory. But again, very proud of our football team in the way that they competed.
Was it a defensive bust, the last touchdown?
Yeah, I haven't seen it on film. I'm not sure exactly what caused it.
How about the defensive ends, specifically Jamar and Jack, both have really good games today. You guys were able to rotate quickly and get your packages on.
Yeah, I thought it was great quality and quantity in the defensive line rotation, the edge guys as well as the interior guys. Against again one of the better teams in our conference. I thought those guys did a great job of holding steadfast and at times bending but not breaking, and just showing up with quality depth.
What's next, Frank? What's next for this team?
For us to go back and got some household things we need to do as we go to the back end of this season, this semester, from a medical standpoint, from an academic standpoint, to finish up strong and then see where the chips fall as we prepare for a bowl game and have those real conversations with our student athletes of what's next for them, because each one of them, may be something different with their outlook, whether you're a fifth-year senior, sixth-year senior, a junior, freshman, sophomore, and what are those things and how do we propel this team to get ready for one more shot, one more game in a bowl game and moving forward beyond.
What about you? How much do you want to be back at LSU in whatever capacity that is moving forward?
Yeah, I love LSU. And as long as LSU will have me, I'd love to be a part of what we're doing here.
Sorry, this has already been asked, Frank, a second late, but just the passing game in general today, what do you think? I know y'all are going to be really deep, so it made it tough to kind of get that going.
There were a lot of things. The elements were one of the things. Again, we were going to do the things to allow the game to be in the balance at the back end of it. And that may not have required us to drop back every play and try to launch it. They did, and it cost them three interceptions. Unfortunately, we didn't cash in on all of them. We were not trying to duplicate that with the conditions. And then with, the other things that we thought were more advantageous for us, we wanted to do those things.
What surprised you over the last month, I guess, about this team, or maybe some individual leaderships that stepped up?
Yeah, the roles some of these guys have taken, guys like Bull Borderline from a special team standpoint, Joel Rogers, who became Aiden Anding, young guys stepping up, playing big roles for us. You look at Chris in his role where even though he's not catching passes, he's disruptive as a gunner on a punt team. But probably more than anything, how they stayed close to one another. You go in that locker room now, there are hugs, there's tears of not necessarily just disappointment, but of true love for one another, of care for one another. That this year wasn't in vain. I love you, and you're my brother for life. And they say, what happens is some of these guys will serve as best men in each other's wedding. They'll be godfathers to some of their children. And in the grand scheme of things, when you talk about your experience at LSU, it needs to be one that you'll have forever. That when we say it's a forever thing, it really is. And so the game is important for us. And our intent always is to win the game. But for our football team, the bond, the brotherhood that has been unbreakable through all that they've been through, and they've been through quite a lot, they haven't given up on one another. And that's the proudest I am for this football team, that they did not give in. They did not retreat, that they stood shoulder to shoulder and back to back with one another in times of turmoil.
Frank, just talk about Zavion Thomas. It seemed like, especially early in the game, every time he touched the ball, he kind of made something happen. He also made that big catch there at the end that put you guys back in field goal position to go ahead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, outstanding football player for us. Wish we could have got him the ball more in situations. He played his heart out this year for us. We're lucky to have him and to have gotten him back home to finish his career here. He will leave a mark on this program as one of the leaders of our football team.
Wilson, I think this is another game in which the defense did so many things well. What do you think, really looking over the course of the year, though, allowed them to be successful in a lot of the games that they played and keep going in the game so many times?
Yeah, I think their style of play. I think the coaching and Blake Baker and our defensive staff putting those guys in position to do what they do well. They did so. They took to coaching. They bought in, and they played complements of one another. The interior guys with the edge guys with the second level linebackers, and then with a feisty secondary made up of those safeties and corners who contested everything that came their way. And I think when you do that, that's a recipe for success for defense.
Time for two more. Call.
Yeah, just no rest for you and the staff with signing day every Wednesday.
Yeah.
How do you put something in bed and start it?
Yeah, and so what we'll do is we'll go back tomorrow. We'll grade this tape and then we'll archive it. We'll bring the team in on Monday and do all those important things. Exit interviews, if you will, the back end of the season. What's next for you to have those real conversations to protect our brand, our university, to have real conversations with student athletes, and what will become a signing day followed by a portal, and how do we manage and love on and protect our team and advise them properly as they move forward. And so, no, it doesn't stop for us at all. It'll start tomorrow with medical examinations at the back end of the season that'll lead to position meeting coaches and position meeting with their position coaches and coordinators, and then also meetings with myself as well for our football team that'll propel us right into National Signing Day for the next class, who will be here in 3.5 weeks.
Doc, last one.
A lot of people waiting on news to break today. Is that difficult to keep the team focused when they're all looking at their phones, waiting to see if something's going to happen or not with the head coach?
Yeah, maybe they're human, right? And that device they carry with them, Jock, all the time. And so I don't know. They don't necessarily bring it to us, but certainly there's probably not a person involved in sports that hasn't seen the topic, if you will, of what's going to happen with the LSU job. I don't think they're immune to it, although I don't think it's taken their undivided attention. But those are the distractions and some of the things that we continually had to deal with, fight with, manage as we prepare for this game as well. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Coach Frank Wilson, man. Coach Frank got a lot to say, man, about the team, and I like Coach Frank a lot. I'm just not buying a excuse about the offense and the elements, and you can go sideline to sideline all day, Frank. You got to attack upfield, man. Got to get your offense. Our offense don't have passing offense don't have any teeth, and to try to operate play action when the running attack is really not there, the people are loading up the line of scrimmage for you to run into. It just is a recipe for disaster. But when it's all said and done, it's a done deal for LSU. What's next heading? That's the major part, right? That's the major part hitting us going forward. Like, what's the next thing? Next thing is Lane Kiffin. We have to figure out if Lane Kiffin's the coach. That's also something that has not been decided yet as of 6:35 p.m. Central Time where I'm at. There's no word on Lane Kiffin deciding on whether or not he will be the coach of the LSU Fighting Tigers, right? The latest updates, he's still pondering on that situation. Like I said, I believe that that's not a good thing for us. If he's there, the money's not a thing, being that they already agreed to match whatever money LSU is given. So this is the decision-making process right here, and we are waiting for him to tell him yay or nay. We shall see what the call is. Y'all put in the chat what y'all think it'll be. Do you think Lane Kiffin stays with Ole Miss, or does he come to LSU? And this is some of the articles right here. You're talking about. You can see behind the commentator, you can see the fact that they're mentioning and talking about Lane Kiffin's career coaching, right? Tennessee, USC, Florida Atlantic. And then, of course, the 5 years he's been with Ole Miss with a 55-19 record. He's done really good there in Ole Miss country. And it could be a possibility for Lane Kiffin to want to coach at a larger university like LSU. Now, he's done a lot of fantastic things in his career, but he has not ever won a national championship as a head coach. Now, he's been a part of some really good years and all this kind of stuff, but he's not done it as the man. So this is also something to kind of think about. We want our offense to be one of the top-notch units in the country, and Lane Kiffin can at least accomplish that much. Make us look a lot more fun as what we're looking tonight, where we scared to throw the ball up the field because of the elements. You can miss me with that, Coach Frank. But anyway, like I said, this is the decision that we'll be dealing with now. Lane Kiffin still undecided as it stands currently. You know, trying to make him, and it's just one of these things that we have to watch out for as he's seeking counsel from different people. And the poor fella even admitted and mentioned that he said he wished his father was there so he can seek counsel from him as well. So we'll learn tonight whether Lane Kiffin, hopefully tonight, hell, we don't know, when is he said tonight, but we will see whether or not it'll be that, or we have to pivot to go and see if we can find somebody else. That's the thing I'm more concerned about. If Kiffin says no, then where we go? We go to Summerall? Who do we go after that? But anyway, in terms of the here and now with the team, as LSU's regular season is ended, as the team goes to the record of 7-5 on the season and 3-5 in conference, what's the next game in terms of the bowl that LSU will go at? So we have some projections of what some people think that LSU will more than likely end up. And one of the family members said in the Potato Bowl, some interesting bowl, right? Where, it's fun times in LSU, man. We got a lot going on, man. Let me just tell you that, man. We got a lot going on. But anyway, let's look at this article right here. And it does mention LSU opponent and updated bowl projections after week 13. Shout out to LSU Wire. LSU's they're talking about this, and this is actually on Monday. Projections. Of course, we probably gonna have to update these projections going forward, but they're thinking like that. It's the Brian Fisher of Sports Illustrated released the college football playoff and bowl projections following after 13th, and he's saying the Tigers receive a familiar bowl opponent. The projections from them facing either the Kansas State Wildhawks and the Wildcats, in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. How about that one? January the 2nd, which would take place in Memphis. 6 of their last 8 bowl games have come after the new year. They last faced the Kansas City Wildcats back in State Wildcats back in 2021 in the Texas Bowl, and the Wildcats won that game 42-20. That was the last time LSU lost a bowl game, which was certainly not to be lost on the team. It would also be interesting to turn of events for Brad Davis, the current offensive line coach, who was the interim coach for that game after the Tigers fired Ed Ogeron. he had just 39 scholarship players. He would certainly look like a fair chance at taking them on. Now, Kansas State still needs to get bowl eligible for this matchup, as this is supposed to happen today, but LSU played in Liberty Bowl twice, the last time coming back in 1985. So are we headed to the Liberty Bowl? Is that a possible bowl? I know whatever it is, as we are a 7-5 team, you know, I know that whatever the bowl is not going to be an attractive one, to be honest with you, man. It's going to be one of these little, you know, you might be headed for one of these bowls. But listen, here go a couple other options just to throw at you guys in terms of what we might see from our Tigers in a bowl game. Potential destinations include the Liberty Bowl. I mentioned that against Kansas State, the Texas Bowl in Houston against Houston or Utah, or the Music City Bowl in Nashville against the Illini or Iowa. Now, these are a couple of the projections that vary across different sport outlets that's showing the Tigers in the Music City Bowl, the Liberty Bowl, and the Texas Bowl. Now, potential bowl matchups, we mentioned them. Liberty Bowl, that's in Memphis, Tennessee. The potential opponents, Kansas State. The Texas Bowl is Houston. Either them or Utah in the Texas Bowl. The Music City Bowl in Nashville, potential opponent is the Illinois or Iowa club, right? And what's influencing these projections is the SEC tie-ins. The SEC is proven to have 7 primary bowl tie-ins, and the final matchups are determined by a selection process after the regular season concludes. So teams' performances, LSU's final record, and its opponents' performances will be ultimately influence which bowl game they selected for, and the player availability, the health, and the performance of key players like quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, linebacker Harold Perkins could affect LSU's final standing and potential bowl game. We know Nussmeier was shut down for the rest of the season. There was some rumors that he could possibly play in this game, but ultimately decided to sit down. He's been banged up the entire season, so his career ends on the IR, so to speak, as we now kind of focus on his career in the pros. Harold Perkins and all these other guys are looking at becoming pros at the next level. So that's what we got. So anyway, with that being said, man, like I said, we heard from Coach Frank. We heard from you tonight. LSU just couldn't do it tonight. A big, not a tough task, but I thought, you know, we just didn't have no teeth offensively. You know, we needed more teeth there. But anyway, y'all feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate y'all joining for this episode of Tough Tiger Talk. We are still monitoring this Lane Kiffin situation, fam. I don't know. It's almost 7 o'clock Central Time. We are still waiting to hear from Lane Kiffin. Like I said, this is not a good thing for LSU. We need to start kind of getting our other list of potential candidates lined up just in case Kiffin pulls the rug and say, I'm gonna stay with Ole Miss. I got it going on here. I should be all right. We're gonna be good where we are. All right. Shout out to Rose. The way the offense looking, Chiefs might end up in the ramen noodle bowl. What city is the ramen noodle bowl, brother? That's an international game, huh? All right. So anyway, with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all for checking us out on Tough Tiger Talk. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Tough Tiger Talk, man. Real deal spiel about our beloved Tigers. I'll holler at y'all guys on the next one. Much love, peace, and go Tigers.
Subscribe to the Tough Tiger Talk channel and stay up to date for all things LSU football.
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the NO, you stay in the know.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.